love those sparkles. Every time I see him, it's like, oh, they make me so happy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to New Earth Rising, where Sharon and I talk about all kinds of things. And today we're talking about angels. Now, last week we talked about communicating with animals, and we did like pet readings, and that was so cool. It was so wonderful. But Sharon and I realized that we didn't really talk about how to communicate with animals. So we're just going to give a couple of comments about that today. But today is going to be all about angels. It is the month of angels. It's spring. It's the divine feminine is shaking and rocking and rolling. And so it's angels, guys. So I am Michelle Ambergy. I am known as the Awakener. I'm an intuitive psychic medium, healing mind, body, soul. I don't even know. We need a
You
new
name
word
it,
for
she
this.
does it.
It's just crazy. Go check out my website at michelleevergy.com. And I'm so happy to be here. And Sharon and I just love doing this show. Sharon, I love your background.
Isn't that awesome? It looks like I got
It,
wings coming out the side of my head though, but
it's
that's a
so
isn't that pretty?
good.
And
You
the
find the
energy
best
coming out of her
backgrounds.
hands.
When you sit a little bit closer, it looks almost like it's your wings because it's like when you
Yeah.
can't see the head, it looks like your wings are just kind of coming up from behind you. I
Yeah,
love
just
it.
kinda from my head.
Up behind your head. Sit
Look
up
behind.
taller.
Okay. Like my mother used to say, "Shoulders back, chest out."
Shoulders
All
back,
right.
chin up. Yay. So
I
good. So
know.
happy to be here.
Me too. I know, I'm really excited once more. Hello, Spirit Song, good to see you. Yeah, see you back. Welcome back. Welcome, everyone. And we're gonna be talking about angels, 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 and how we can remember our angelic heritage, our angelic selves too.
Yeah.
Might just touch on that.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
are the royal lineage. And so we're bringing in that angelic human DNA, literally.
Mhm. I know, and I wanna share a dream I had.
Cool.
This is
Do it.
sharing time. Okay. Yeah, and then you said you wanted to share something too, right?
Yes.
Visitation, okay. So it was this one, wasn't a conscious out of body, but it was with those dreams, experiences that you know was an experience, right? It was extremely vivid, and you know that um, you know you're there for a reason kinda thing. You have lucidity, but it's a different kind of lucidity. Okay, um, so I'm in this space with others, and we are being, um trained by an angel, I guess you could say. Yeah, there's a really
Ooh.
big angel talking to us. It's in a group thing. And, he looks like Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
And
like in City of
yes,
Angels.
'cause it's one of my favorite
Ooh,
movies.
la la.
So that's how that's the role or the filter I put on him, on the angel, because he's male and in teaching mode. And what I found is when angels are in teaching mode, they take on male persona, and when they're in healing mode and those types of things, in nurturing mode, they can tend to take on the female persona. So, so he's teaching us and he's showing us, and we're in like this really big mm, room that now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot about this. There's columns and there's like a library. So maybe we're in the Akashic Records in the Hall of Records or Hall of Learning, that type of thing. Yeah. And so we're sitting there just hanging out with him and he's telling us, ooh, I'm getting emotional talking about. He's talking about because he's got these huge, beautiful wings, and he has a blue energy, and he's telling us that this is probably Michael, but he's telling us that um, our wings, how we can unfold our wings, and how do you put this in everyday communication about what you're getting in your dreams, right? How we can unfold our wings, because our wings are folded when we come here, right? And he's showing something about the shoulder blades and how we need
Mhm.
to release energy in our
Yeah,
shoulder blades.
and
Yeah,
it's back
that's
heart.
my worst part. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the back heart chakra.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So he's showing us how we need to release that energy in our shoulder blades, and work on that a lot more, which is really good guidance for me. I'm constantly putting massage cups there and using a massage thing in that area. That's my, I think, tensest part is my shoulder blades. And so then he's talking about spin, something about spin and how we do that and how we can do that and how we get the best result is something about spin. And I don't remember the details, but then he's holding this bowl, looks like a crystal singing bowl, one of those bowls, and he covers it with some kind of a cloth, and he starts spinning it like you would spin a basketball, right? You
Oh,
know, like that.
wow.
He spins it in his hand, and
Mhm.
and he just uh, and it's spinning so fast that he moves his hand down, and it's still spinning in the air, type of thing. Um, and it's just kind of moving like that, as it's spinning, like the spinning top moving around, but
Right,
it's
right.
it's flying, basically, is what it's doing. It's flying. And and that's about all I remember. But I just remember
Wow.
being there with him and just having this really cool feeling about it. The next day, I will say this, the next day, my sister shares with me an article that actually was written in September 2022, but that is now coming out. I don't know if it's again or just now being released, about flying bicycles. Yeah. So the anti-gravity bicycles, and they're actually selling them now.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
mhm, yeah, and so that was the next day, or that same day after, because that was in the morning that I had that dream. Yeah, and so,
How
we're also
cool.
getting information about what they call now, um, vertical lift and
Mhm.
landing vehicles, right? You heard that?
Mhm.
Heard that announcement?
Yeah.
So, it's happening, things are happening.
Yeah, the new technology. I sure hope that they make people get licenses and learn to drive those flying bikes because that could be a nightmare. Some
You know what
people
it looks
can't drive
like?
cars very good. Can you imagine on flying bikes? Holy hell.
Well, I know you'd be flying above all the cars, but,
Yeah,
until
I'd be
everyone
worried
has
about
one.
crashing into them.
I know, yeah, I would imagine that in the future, and this is, just as we're talking, I'm thinking about it, that there's some kind of a, electronic type of highway or whatever, and so the vehicles probably have something built in them where they can only stay in that lane
Yeah.
electronically, that it can't go outside that lane, I would think, I don't know. And that there's got to be some way to set that up, because I think it's memory, that we already have that in our memory. We do it somewhere else. We've been doing it. It's just that here we're here to help us get into that uh, that way of existence again. So that
You
was
know,
really
in the
cool.
Jetsons, the cartoon, The Jetsons, they
Yeah.
had little highways, and then they would come off the highways and then go to their homes.
Oh, like a little exit. Yeah. So little exits. And I would imagine that, and I imagine, because this is probably how it really is, that you program in, where you want to go, kind of
Oh,
thing, your
yes.
destination. And, they could be self-driving, or you could probably do manual or self-driving. I feel spaceships are like that too. A lot of spaceships too. You program in your coordinates, and, well, spaceships are flying cars. So, it's normal.
And you know what I've been shown? A lot of those orbs that we see that are becoming everywhere,
Yeah.
the round orbs, that they're actually Merkabahs.
Mhm.
and they're not programmed, they're guided by our consciousness.
Mhm.
They're guided
Yeah.
by, we say, let's go around the tree, let's go over the tree, let's go look in there, blah, blah, blah. And you're one with the vehicle, right? So
Nice.
there's not even, but please, dear God, teach people how to drive those things right. Because I'd be like, oh, going home, going around the tree. I need an ice cream. Oh,
A squirrel, yeah. For me, it used to be Starbucks. I used to joke that my car would automatically exit off the freeway onto if I saw a Starbucks. Luckily, I broke that habit.
oh yeah. Ooh, that's an expensive habit too,
Well, it's also not good for the nervous system and your health.
and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Well, it's cool that you had that dream with angels because I've had a couple of things with the angels. There, it's like I'm seeing it's that at the side, it's like whoosh, you see the energy go by. But I was watching, oh God, what was the movie? I just had it on my tongue. It was a sweet movie. Oh my God, I can't remember. I'm sorry. Anyways, sweet movie.
Mhm.
I had that turned down really low because it was kind of a little bit later at night, and I'm just, I'm easing myself into relaxing.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, I hear music, and I'm looking at the TV, and I'm like, "There's nothing on the TV." It was like an outside, and there was horses, and there's nothing that there would be music, right? And I'm listening to it, and I'm starting to tune into. Oh, I'm getting chills, and I'm starting to tune into it, and it gets a little bit louder, not a lot louder, but a little bit louder. And all of a sudden, I hear giggling. And I'm like looking at the TV and I'm like, those horses are not giggling. And then it was in my mind, I heard, in my clair audience, in my head, I heard, we're here. And it was so cool because it was the same giggle that I heard when I was sick, when I had appendicitis and I was very, very sick. And I should have been in the hospital at that moment. But I had been kind of fading in and out of consciousness a little bit. And at one point, I'd open my eyes and my whole room was filled with gold light. And I just kind of went, if I'm dying, that's okay.
Mm,
I'm like, if this is it, I'm good. I'm good. This life has been rough. I'm good to go. And I heard
mhm.
the same giggling, and they were like, "Ooh, I'm getting chills. Oh my gosh!" They just said, "No, no, no. You have a lot more to do." And I just
Nice.
remember just kind of
Yes.
almost feeling a little bit like I was passing out, and I woke up to my brother coming in going, "Mom told me to come over here. What is wrong? Oh my god, we gotta get you to the hospital." And basically saved my life.
Wow.
And yeah, and so it was that same giggling, and it was like, "We're here." And I was like, "Oh boy, something fun's getting ready to go." The angels are showing up,
Yeah.
this new, we just had this full moon here that was,
Mhm.
the Pisces full moon in Virgo, which is always a interesting flow of energy, and the spring coming up, and the divine.
Reminds me of a relationship I used to have, but go ahead, sorry.
Oh, okay,
Pisces and Virgo.
spring coming. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And the spring coming up, and things are starting to blossom and bloom, and spring is so, babies and flower buds, and it's just so delicate and beautiful. And so I'm feeling that same quality in the angelic energy that's coming up too, that I'm starting to experience because I'm preparing a class right now that is 12 dimensional angelic realms. We are now capable of accessing these 12 dimensional angelic realms. And maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was guided to do a class. So that's going to be on March 18th, by the way, those angel people out
Nice.
there.
Nice.
And it's amazing the quality, the like refined. It's almost like God. It's just hard to put into words. It's like the sound of a silver bell versus other bells like a brass bell, a tin bell,
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
It's that refined, like high frequency. Oh my gosh, it's so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it like everywhere. And other people are commenting on angel stuff too. So I really feel like with the shift that we're in, that that angelic energy is getting stronger. So
Yeah.
yay, bring it on,
Yay. That's right, and I wanna show you something real quick. Well, let me find it. Okay. Alright. So one of our I found, one of our cedar races, oh, it wasn't this book. Um, according to Landed on, the 22 cedar races.
And
Um,
that's Seeder, for those
yes,
who don't
yes.
know.
Um, that apparently one of them is
There's
the,
some, like, going Ceter races. I'm still back
cedar.
sitting in my spaceship with George Jetson in the seat, and I'm like, "Cedar?
I like Miss Jules knew the whole, spiel of the
Meet
preamp
George
the yeah,
Jetson. Do, do,
"Listen,
do, 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 do.
his
His boy
boy Elroy."
Elroy.
So,
Ding, ding."
Landon was able to she met the Cedars and was able to, because she's an artist, draw, all 22 of them in her book, The Cedars.
Wow.
This is one, um
Oh, beautiful. It's interesting she's drawing them with the wings like that. Hmm,
yeah,
cool.
called an Elarthian.
And it's IAN, Alarthian. It's not
E-L
EL.
Elarthins. And the lightsaber right there is, very telling, but, yeah, it's,
Wow,
so
interesting.
they're she said they so that's in our this she is in our DNA. This being is one of the 22 seater races that is part of us, right? That's in our DNA. Um, so she says they're from the galaxy NGC 7319, um, through visible through the
Who came
Pegasus
up with that
constellation.
name?
Their home world is AIL. That sounds familiar,
AIL,
doesn't it?
yeah.
AIL, like the Elohim. And didn't you
Elohai. The
Elohai?
Elohim are the fallen ones. You don't want to
Elohai?
call on them.
Oh, well, okay. Species in appearance are winged humanoids, have been mistaken in the past for Terra for angels. Um, Culture very
Ooh.
active in protection and defense for the intergalactic confederation with the military type structure, part of a collective consciousness, which angels are.
Yeah.
Communication is telepathic mainly, but can be vocal if needed when interacting with non-telepathic pathic cultures. They have outposts in the Sol system, ancient colonies on Titan and Europa. Um, so
Oh,
I
and
saw
those are
this.
moons, right? Titan and Europa?
Mhm.
And moons of Venus?
I th- um,
Ooh, I'm
I
gonna look
took an out of body trip to Europa once. I think it was. Oh gosh, I don't think it's Venus. It might be um, Jupiter.
we might need to do a show on all these places.
Yeah,
Like where are these? Ooh, oh my god.
Europa.
Why can I not spell Europa?
Europa.
It keeps changing it to, oh, it's a Jupiter. I thought
Jupiter.
it
Yeah, that's what
sounded
I thought.
familiar. It's my peeps.
Jupiter, yes. Um, so I took a very interesting out of body trip there one time, and
Ooh,
someone was showing me the history of Earth there, and I could hear the voice and took me into a pyramid, and I saw pyramids there
yeah.
and pulling out trays. There's records stored there, and pulling out trays and showing me a lot of the history of Earth. And one of them was about Disney Disney. They pulled out a tray. We pulled out a tray and it had Mickey Mouse and Disney, some information on Disney, but I didn't bring all the information back with me um, here. But that was interesting, knowing what we know
Miss
now.
Jules is saying Titan is a moon of Saturn, so maybe we had two. Yeah, I do a lot of work on Jupiter. I haven't been so much lately because I've been doing more of my work that here for the ascension and creating new Earth. But with teaching the Jupiterians about being human and what it is to be human and
Hmm.
helping them because they're going to become a part of our our culture, right? They're going to
Right.
become a part of what is the new earth energies that are going on. Yeah. Oh, Miss Jules, Titan is a moon of Saturn.
Europa is the moon of Jupiter, right. Yeah.
Ooh,
Hi, Anne. Um,
very cool. Very cool. I
that wall
love
hanging
all
I
this
have
stuff.
the wall hanging I have, that I put up sometimes is of, the Ashtar Galactic Command stationed outside Jupiter. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I think somebody would somebody in here. I don't know. I just had a question. Hey Barbie, I just had a question in my head. Say, can are there humans living on Jupiter? I don't know where that came from. I don't know if maybe someone thought that, but yes,
They're living, on the bases.
on the bases around it, and
Yeah,
maybe on it. You know, honestly, I think that we're everywhere.
we are. Yeah,
We
yeah.
are, and
We're
there's
learning more
some
and more.
people like Michael Sala and Elena Denon and my buddy that I love. A lot of people think he's controversial. Corey Good. You know, they all talk about that there are bases everywhere,
Mhm,
and we have to remember that the angelics are those really high, like 12th dimensional beings, and they're outside of the lower matrices, the denser matrices. And so they're a part of like everything. And we think of angels oftentimes as these winged beings, like Archangel Michael and the ones that we love so much. But they're also just massive energy fields of consciousness
mhm.
that can be everywhere. And so it's so beautiful. And speaking of Nicolas Cage, and I always say this, the movie Knowing
Oh, that's a good one. I
gets
actually
to
have
the
that
end.
DVD. Yeah,
Oh, and
that's a good
it's
one.
kind of like a crazy movie, and it's kind of like, oh my god, it's very suspenseful. But when you get to the end and the beings that come and you
Yeah.
see the way the energy fields are moving, it's like they're angels,
Yes.
and they're
Yeah.
angels creating a new earth, because it's a rather apocalyptic kind of a show. Oh, I'm getting chills. But
Yeah, they're
they're
definitely light
angels that.
beings for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so it's cool because we perceive them, with wings, like bird type wings, but so many of them have it's those energy fields that totally look like wings.
Mhm.
But it's so amazing.
Yeah.
That movie, I watch that movie like once every 3 months just to watch the end. And I'm not
I
gonna
know.
say it.
That is a good part.
I
Yeah,
don't
so
want to spoil it, but I
if
do.
you
I
haven't
fast
seen it,
forward all
it's
the way to the end.
right. Yeah, it's good. City of Angels
Do it
is really,
again.
really good.
Do it again. I want to see it myself.
So, Michelle, you probably have noticed this yourself, is that, uh, I believe we all have a guardian angel, right? Yeah, who has been with us, oh, Michelle says she likes John Travolta playing Michael. Yeah, that was Aretha Frank. Yeah, oh, I have a trivia thing here to share about John Travolta dancing to Aretha's Chain of Fools. That was filmed at Green Hall outside of San Antonio in Green, Texas, and I had been there many, many, many times. I used to hang out there, dance on that dance floor, drank at that bar, sat at those tables. So it's a really popular place there in Green, Texas. But that I know it was cool to see that there. So
You
I
walked in
just a
his
little,
shoes. You
yeah.
walked in Michael's shoes. Michael Travolta.
I two-stepped across the floor that Michael Travolta danced to Chain of Fools to. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that was a good movie because he was just such a slovenly angel until he got his act together. That was really good.
Yeah, it was perfect. So anyway, so I believe we all have guardian angels, someone, an angelic being that's with us since, coming from source, I guess you could say, dropped down from source. And I've also noticed that, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this too, Michelle, that as we as we move up in frequency and work on our spiritual progress, we have higher. frequency angels that work with us on a regular basis. Doesn't mean that we don't still have our guardian angel, that we will always have our guardian angel. But I feel our guardian angel also takes in more light with us as we grow too. And um, for instance, you know, when you become a light worker, you have Archangel Michael there with you because he works with the light workers. And when you become a healer, you might have Archangel Raphael working with you too. And as we um, move into our higher frequency selves and are aware of our higher parts of us, our higher being, that we bring in a lot higher frequency angelic beings with us that are working with us. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I absolutely agree that we have guardian angels. I A lot of the work that I've done, people oftentimes have more than one,
Hmm.
especially people that have particular callings. I'm noticing that some people who had one 10 or 15 years ago now have two or three, especially
Hmm.
people that are doing work like ours. And we have other angels with us too, like specialty kind of angels. But my understanding with as our frequency goes up, we all bring in, like you were saying at the beginning, we all are connected to the angelic realm. We all have that angelic DNA on top of other things. You know,
Hmm.
the indigo starseed phenomena is, we've got DNA. Basically, we have God's DNA, we have Christ's DNA, we have all these angelic realms. So my understanding, and this is what Archangel Michael explained to me quite some time ago, was that these angels that we work with, these guardian angels and all that kind of stuff, they come from a very, very high space,
Hmm.
into those, even the 13, 14, 15 dimensions. But they step down their frequency to be able to be with us, to work with us. And then as we grow and as we ascend, we move more back into who we really are in a frequency way. And we begin to have access to our complete wholeness, as do they. So they help to raise our frequency. But and not everybody on the planet is this, but we're talking to our group here and the people that are drawn to this video. But we all come down from a very high frequency. And now we're learning, we're growing. And in this ascension is we're holding the light to give opportunity for so many others to recognize that within themselves. And we're all rising together. So the angels, it's like they're not here and they have to rise, but they've come in like many of us have. And then now we're like, okay, we're all working together. There's so many light workers and people that are holding this love and this light and this purity and understand who they are. And we're all like lifting us. That rising tide lifts all ships, right? So we're
Hmm.
all going back to whence we came, and we're creating that new earth, frequency and all that stuff as we move along. So it's
Hmm.
basically the same way that you're doing it. um, Archangel Michael just explained it from a different perspective, because a lot of us have the Doreen Virtue version, which when she was teaching this stuff, a lot of people, they believed there were a couple of angels, and a lot of them didn't believe the angels were even around. And God bless her, she brought it into the mainstream. She brought it into the household. She brought it into our vernacular. She brought the pictures and the artwork and stuff more modern into our minds and into our recognition. And then she stepped out and she went on, her second journey, third, probably 15th journey. And we're here now, where we now are stepping into those spaces and we're beginning to recall who we are as angels. And it's very humbling and it's very exciting when you truly begin to realize that, I've got angel DNA. Angel runs through my blood. And it's not an ego thing, it's actually a very humbling, and it's part of our service. So we begin to have that energy and that consciousness of service to humanity from that angelic perspective. And I remember when I took my Reiki level 2, which was very, very early on, and we had a little Reiki, session afterwards, and we all got to be on the table and everybody touched us. And when my time came, I'm laying on the table, and as soon as everybody laid their hands on me, all of a sudden I'm shooting through this tube, and there's massive chains flying off of me, and I can hear them like bursting and my body's kind of shaking. And I just was like, "Oh my god, what is going on?" But I was in this state that if I had have had the mastery to get out of it, I probably would have jumped off that table. But at the time I did it, and then as I got through this tube, and all of a sudden I was just in like this floating space, there was this huge blue angel, and she just looked at me and she said, "I am you." And it was so stunning. And honestly, it's only been in the last maybe 5 years even that I've realized, oh, wait a minute, she was being literal.
Mhm. Sure.
You know, she was being literal. I am an angel. You are an angel. Everybody that's on here and everybody that's drawn to this video, no matter when it is, you have angelic lineage
Right.
and we're here.
I
Walking around.
rem That's beautiful. I love that story. I remember, I don't know, a couple years ago, I guess, I was sharing earlier that I have tension in my shoulder blades a lot,
Mhm.
and I had just taken off the massage cups and turned around to look to see if they made any marks. And when I turned around and looked at, when I looked at my shoulder blades, I had this vision that my wings were cut off. That's where my wings were, and they
Ooh.
had been cut off.
Ooh.
Yeah, my wings were there, and my came from my shoulder blades, and they had been cut. I just started sobbing. It was a really profound moment. I, don't know where that came from or anything, but I saw that they had been cut, and, and we kinda feel like that here, don't we?
A little bit. But
Mhm.
we need to remember ours are just furled up. We need to
They're on
unfurl them.
that and that's what the angel in my dream, in my nighttime journey was saying, they've been folded, so we just need to unfold them,
You know, it
unfold.
was kind of cool when I right after I had that experience with the angel and Reiki, I was working as an accountant in a law firm. So it's like you can't get that had a Catholic church
Mm. Oh, in the law firm.
in it. The owner of this law firm was associated with the Vatican. I used to write $1 million checks to the Vatican.
Wow.
So dense, man, dense. But I
Yeah.
didn't know how to, do it other than I was not comfortable there. But there was one day that I was at the printer, right? Those great big gigantic monster printers. And I'm doing this printing, and I'm holding this huge bunch of paper. And I turn around, I'm walking, and my back's feeling weird, right? And I come around the corner and I just feel like this weird feeling, and the hallways were really wide, and all of a sudden I'm feeling like my butt is dragging on the wall, and I look around and there's not really anything there, and as I turned to look forward, all of a sudden in my mind's eye I saw these great big huge wings, and that my
Mm.
wings were behind me dragging along the wall, right? They were so big that they were rubbing on the wall. It wasn't much longer after that I was out of there, but it was.
Yeah, you were taking out a lot of that dark energy. Your ring your wings were dragging butt.
I felt like it too, and, it was funny, I'm in a cubicle, right? I'm running all I should have had my own office, damn it. But I had amethyst all the way around the top of the little cubicle wall, and the owner there, he'd always, like, walk into people's and rub their shoulders. I mean, he was a lovely man, he really was a very kind, loving man, but he couldn't walk into my cubicle. He would,
He
like, start
might
to
get
walk
struck
in and kinda be
down.
like, "Hey, how are you doing?"
He got propelled.
Oh, God bless him.
Hey, Christine.
But yeah, we do. We're angels, man. We're angels.
You're
Oh,
right, Miss Jules.
mhm. And
We
we've
do
been told that for
yeah,
so long. I
we've been
remember
programmed.
in school it's 4:44 in the Southland. Ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
angels,
So those of
angels
you
are
that
listening.
I know, those of you who can't see Miss Jules' text, she's saying that I think we think of ourselves as lesser beings instead of beings of God. And you're totally right, because someone told her that she was a being from the angelic realm, and she didn't want to believe it. Hmm.
And
Yeah,
you are, if you know, if that message comes to you, but we've been so told that we're lesser, you know, that we're the product of monkeys. When I heard that when I was a kid, I was freaked out. I have been freaked out about monkeys ever since. It's like, oh, I did not come from monkeys, and I didn't know that I actually knew. It really freaked me out. I was like, holy crap.
yeah. There's a missing link there, which we know is more than likely Sasquatch.
Sassy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
it's a little PT intervention, and but yeah, you're an angel,
Oh,
Miss Jules.
yes, you are. You don't have to doubt it. I'm sure you don't doubt it anymore.
Mm-mm.
But so let's. How do we communicate with animals and angels? How about if we share our tricks of the
Perfect.
trade? Okay, and those that are watching, all of you, beautiful, beautiful people, you have your tricks. You can share those with us too.
Hmm.
I would say with animals, animals are a lot easier than we think because they're very open. If you're intuitive, you shouldn't have a problem because that's how animals communicate with us, and they also communicate through pictures, is what I understand and what I know. But they animals are all about body language, smell, and voice afterwards. That's the last of their senses that they pay attention to, which meaning hearing us. And this is something that Caesar shared, which I thought was very profound. He said that dogs in particular, um, it's smell. If I can find my nose, smell, ears, mouth. That's the order how they process information. Nose, ears, mouth, meaning, smelling, hearing, sound. I mean, paying attention to speaking, that type of thing. For people, it's no. I'm sorry. It's eyes. Eyes. I messed that up. Let me start over. So it's smell, sight. No, smell, hearing, sight. Smell, hearing, sight. Now I got it. Smell, hearing, sight. If you think of a dog, smell, 1,000 times stronger than ours. Hearing, probably 1,000 times stronger than ours. And then sight. Okay. Whereas us, it's visual, sight, hearing, smell. It's the exact opposite. Hopefully, I did that right. So, when we're communicating with dogs in particular, we have to remember that getting their attention would be through smell, through hearing, and then sight. So, we have to remember how they communicate and getting into their head. And I think a lot of people have the problem of expecting the animal to think like a human
Yeah.
when it's the other way around, because they consider us part of their pack. When I'm talking about dogs right now, consider us part of their pack, and so we, in order to be able to communicate with an animal, we have to get into um, their mind and how they see see them the way they think of their pack members and that kind of thing, and how they communicate with each other. Cats too.
Yeah. The cats are, we're a part of their clouder.
They're clouder. Is that what it's called? Yeah, right. And
My
everything a cat. I'm sorry. Everything a cat um, does is a communication.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's what I've always been a cat person. I always had dogs too, and horses and cows and pigs and chickens and oh god,
Hmm.
hamsters, rabbits, the whole 9 yards. One of the things that I learned is when communicating, and especially doing intuitive work with animals, whether they're on the other side or having them in your midst. One of the things is to have a very pure intention, not a clear intention, but a pure intention, because my experience is they feel everything. And it's almost like that clairsentience, that feeling is the first sense that animals have before, like you're talking about the physical senses, right? It's like a dog can feel if someone is good or bad. A cat can feel. I had a guy come knock on the window. My office is looks out in front. I got a big window in front of my house. And, people come and go all the time, the mailman, the gardeners, the delivery guys. And the cat is like, whatever. But this guy came walking up. This cat jumped up, started hissing and freaking out. And I immediately got like these chills. And it was somebody was nosing around, and he was poking around and he was looking and stuff, and he realized I was watching him, and he hot-footed it out of here. Animals feel everything. And so whether you're working with animals, in person or doing like intuitive communication, you really have to be in that right space mentally, emotionally, and psychically. Because a lot of people come in, it's like, well, I'm going to, talk to your animal. And they come in like they're taking over, and you don't. Like you said, Sharon, is that we have to come in and be a part of their world
Right.
and not expect them to be kind of like the trained pony kind of an idea to do what we want them to do. We
Mhm.
come into their world. We come into their thing, and we sit with them and we honor them, and we let them get used to us, like you said, with the smell. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. That was the song that was going through my head when you were doing it.
I
I
know.
smell
Okay.
through
I was
years and years.
the ankle bone connected to the thigh bone,
But yeah, it's the feeling. And working with horses, we had a lot of horses. We had the ranch. And if I was in a bad mood or if I was sad, the animals would respond completely differently. And
Mhm.
I caught on to that. And that was, before I was really into all this stuff, I caught on to that immediately. Like the first thing I wanted to do when my husband was being a jerk was go out and, play with the horses. And they were like, oh, hell no, back off. They do the little sad dance thing until I would take a breath, get myself balanced, oh, be good, and then they'd be fine.
Yeah.
But they're so sensitive. And I know having this crazy cat I have, if I'm not in the right mode, he bites the crap out of me. And I'm like, stop hurting me. And then working intuitively through the veil is also just, they're very, very intuitive, and they will pick up on you and they will connect with you, but it's really being honoring them. We think of animals as lesser than us, and honestly, I think they're higher. I
I think
really
well, they're spiritually more aware than we are, that's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we call ourselves smart, but, it's depends on what kind of smart you're talking about. But yeah, I agree.
Exactly. Depends on what you mean by smart.
Hi, Amber.
Welcome,
Welcome.
welcome.
Yeah, so, it's a matter of getting into their head, not expecting them to understand us. I see people all the time, it's really funny, and I do this too, I talk to my animals to understand what we're saying, um, and, when we're just talking English, just talking, having a conversation with them, okay, well, and if you've trained them that way, that's great, "Go get me a beer," you know?
Yeah.
The dog goes and opens the fridge and grabs a beer or a soda or whatever and brings it to you, that's awesome. But, uh, yeah, um, animals don't understand English unless we have given them commands and trained them for commands. So Barbie says, another fun fact I just learned is that our animals, dogs and cats particularly take care of the energies at the bottom of our houses.
Oh, that's interesting.
Huh.
Take care of the
Transmuting it?
energies at the bottom.
On the floor?
So
Is
kind
that
of
what
like
you
on the floor bar. Miss Jules, dogs have masters, cats have servants.
exactly, or I call them staff, but same thing, yeah.
Same freaking thing. It's crazy.
I know, I just love it when I'm cleaning out the litter box and they're looking at me, up on the mantle or whatever, looking at me. "Yes, yes, yes, that's mine. Don't miss that one right there." You know,
Yeah. And hey, hey, be gentle. That thing is precious.
I know, right?
That
Yes,
came
all
out
in
of me, servant.
do you do you know who I am? That's worth gold in the cat world. Yeah,
On Lyra or
mhm,
Lyra.
right.
Oh my gosh.
Have you seen those buttons that they train cats to use to talk to us? Each button is a word. Oh, no, I haven't seen that. That's cool.
Oh, I've seen the dogs doing that. I can see training a dog. I cannot imagine a cat doing that. They'd probably be like, no.
Yeah. So Anne says you can't see the people's comments. That's because you're on. We have this. We're simulcasting on different channels. What we can do is highlight. Oh, I can't because I'm not the boss here.
Oh, you
But
can't do that? You should be the
you can
boss.
highlight. No, I'm not.
We can highlight. You know what happens is we are sending things out to Facebook and also YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, all of our YouTubes connect. But if you're on Facebook, I'm learning Facebook can't see YouTube and YouTube can't see the Facebook comments. So that's
Even
what
if
the
you
difference
highlight
is.
it. Even if you highlight it,
No, if we
it
highlight it, I
show up
think we
here.
can. So
Yeah.
who do we want to highlight?
Uh, let's
Because there's a
highlight
lot
Miss
of comments. I
Jules.
don't want to.
No, I'm just Miss Jules, and tell us if you can see it in the bottom of our screen.
Okay,
Um,
Miss Jules.
yeah,
Okay, here, let's do this.
there you go.
Can everybody see that? Oh my gosh, this thing is such a pain in the butt.
My
Yeah,
daughter
Anne
said
is saying she's on Facebook. Yeah,
her cat would just push the food button all day long. Yeah. So would
my
so would
cat
mine
too.
too.
I've created a monster with
Okay,
my
so
cat.
you can see it on YouTube, right? Okay. So if anyone, Anne, if you're on Facebook, I wonder if you can see it. So you should be able to see it wherever you are because it shows up at the bottom of our screen,
Yeah,
which is being,
yeah,
s
sent out there. Yep,
yeah,
yeah. That
okay.
this is part of the reason why I stopped putting it on Facebook for people to watch on Facebook. I remember now. I knew there was a reason on top of Facebook kicking me off for a while. I was
Oh,
ticked.
Anne can see it. She can
Okay,
see it on
good.
Facebook because it
Awesome.
shows on our screen, yeah.
Thank you for helping us work through the glorious joy of technology.
Comment the comment world, okay. So Michelle will promise to highlight comments that we are addressing.
That we're talking about.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
Michelle?
All day long. Yes. Yes. I'm like the cat.
Okay, so we were talking about communicating with animals.
Yeah.
It's really easy when you think about it, and I'm sure everyone here is aware that when you have an animal that you're close to, you're just in each other's heads anyway. Yeah, all you have to do is look at each other, and you know what they want when they're looking at you, right?
Most
Yeah,
of the time.
yeah, well,
Sometimes you're getting a death stare and you're not sure if they're thinking of killing you or if they actually want something. Those are the scary times.
I try to ignore that one.
It's like,
That's when I turn around and walk away.
yeah, it's like I look away and then I look back.
I know, right? Look over your shoulder. Look move your wing aside so you can see.
I'm scared they're going to jump on my wings and mess them all up.
Yeah, you gotta pick up your feathers because cats like to play with feathers. Our cats around here just love the feathers.
Especially when they smell like fresh angel.
Yeah, yeah. Or it's when they wag the tail.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
It's like,
Like what I'm
it's like,
hearing from my dog. Yeah.
yeah, it's true. It's true. I get that. You know, one thing that I did, a lot of you guys, Barbie, you've met Mikey, so you know he's special. He is all male, and he is got a little feral streak in him, and he wants to do things his way, and one of the ways that I get him to settle down and connect is I get him snuggled up here, and I will kiss his the top of his head, and I'll connect third eye to third eye with him. And I'll just allow that, and I do it very gently. I just kind of allow that energy to just, and then I'll open my heart up and then just connect with his heart and just let that be there. And he'll actually let it happen for about 5 seconds. And then he's like, oh, wait, no, no, this feels too much like I'm not your master. And so I'm thinking that, but that's something that's really cool too,
Yeah.
is opening that heart because, and especially with dogs, dogs are all heart. Cats are a little bit more heady, but dogs and horses
Mhm.
in particular, and that's what I have, experience with. But opening that heart and being open hearted, it's big difference in how they respond to you and stuff too.
Yeah. Dogs are usually pleasers, unless they're bossy like my dog, that it's all about her. The Yorkie I have, and well, she's 15, so she can be bossy, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
cats are kind of more like, but she acts like she's 5. So cats are more about themselves.
I mean, I honestly, let me tell you, I don't know if you guys can see all these boo boos.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
me getting spanked by my cat. It's
Wow.
like I don't do what he likes. He chomps on me.
Yeah.
And it's
I know.
just,
My cat, he only wants to be loved, patted on when he wants to be patted on, when he wants to be loved. Only
totally
then. If I go to pet him any other time, he's like slinking away from me. Oh, no, no,
and it's like, pet me. No, no, yep, pet me.
mhm,
No,
no.
pet me right here, right here. No, 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 pet me right here. There's such a pet me,
Yeah,
no, pet me, no. Hi, Groucho.
good
Oh,
stuff.
I just called him Groucho. That's not even his name. It's my old cat's name. His ears are
I
back too. He knows we're
He's
talking
like,
about.
"How dare you call me Groucho?" My name is King. King. That's King to you,
Lord Groucho. I call him my
Lord
Lord and
Groucho.
Master.
Alright, so we've covered animals,
He did
and,
the animals.
don't see any questions about animals, okay. What about let's talk about angels and how to connect to angels perhaps if,
Yeah.
anyone's interested, or at least our methods or what we use.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I know when I first encountered the angels, as far as someone that I could communicate with, it was I just had no concept whatsoever that I could ever be worthy.
Yeah.
And and I knew that they were wonderful. And I was a Doreen Virtue person. I loved her, still love her to this day. I honor the changes
I
that
got
she
her
made for
cards
me.
out. I just got her
Yep.
cards out
I
for it. That's right. You got yours too? Yeah,
Of course.
of course.
And I remember being super excited about it because I love the angels. I've always been fascinated with angels. I thought they were neat, but they were always out there, right? They're out there, they're far away, they're beyond my reach, they're out there. And with Doreen Virtue, she made it more home, but I still didn't feel like I could have anything to do with it. And I had an experience in a meditation where I asked the angels, I said, if you're real and like really real and we can connect, show me. And it was a big group meditation. and I was sitting on a meditation thing, and I closed my eyes. And we kind of had a little guided meditation, and I was like, "Show me." And all of a sudden, I had this huge fire in front of my face, and this face came out of the fire and just smiled at me, and I was just bathed in this love. And I was like, "Oh my god." And I just sat there, and the teacher of the class said that I was just like the whole meditation. And later I found, I came out of it and I was kind of dazed and everything. But what I got during that, not in transmission as far as words, but in the feeling, is that this was Archangel Uriel, and that I was being shown that I'm one with them, and that they're here for me. And that's when I started working with the angels. And immediately, of course, had Archangel Michael come in, right? And Uriel's kind of been to the back, but it was really fun. Then, of course, I went and took Doreen Virtue's classes, and they teach you so many wonderful things, and
Mhm.
really being connecting in and being in that quiet space, and for me, it's about really honoring that this is a sacred experience you get. This is a very sacred thing to communicate with these realms that really are pure love. And pure love looks like Archangel Michael kicking butt sometimes. And it's just like, it's so wonderful. But it's willingness more than anything, and understanding that you're worthy and you're capable. And I do it through meditation. I get in a beautiful meditative state and just ask questions if I have questions. If I do readings for people, I just allow that message to come through, being very conscious of not interpreting or making it about me, which is one of the hardest things about being a psychic. So many we want to say, and this means, it's like, no, just give the message. The angels taught me about that too. And there's so many different realms of angels. We've got the nine realms that we're we kind of have in this world, if you will. Doreen Virtue made them very, very clear, that's related to religion, but there's many, many other angels, of the higher realms, of true love and true light. They're fallen angels too. You know, we've all heard about Big L, right? The one that does the dirty work. And there's those kind of angels too. But when you keep your focus and intention on working with the angels of light, that's what you get. So that's kind of my
Oh, yeah,
thing with that. I've been working with them for a long time. It's kind of hard. It's one of those things where it's hard to put into words.
right. Yeah, and I totally agree, Michelle, and it's all about attention and trust, I believe is number 1 too, trusting, first we have to get in our mind that we trust that we can connect and that we do have angels around us. We do have that DNA within us, and they're not better than us. They're here to help us. I'll never forget a reading I did for someone one time, a session. It's when I was doing readings through out of body travel. When I first started out, I wasn't
Mhm.
doing them psychically like I do now because I do both, but through out of body travel, and I did it. I'd schedule a session with them and do the travel the night of the session, and then report back the next day. And I saw him um, in the experience, and there's this beautiful red-headed, long red hair angel standing next to him, and he's turned this way, looking at doing stuff, and she's standing right next to him, and she's like filing her nails, and he's looking away from her, and she's like filing her nails and she's like, like bored to tears, right? Because he did not he wasn't giving her a job. Angels need a job. So he wasn't paying attention to her. He wasn't asking her for help. We have to ask. And she's like,
Yes.
"I'm right here. I'm right here." You know? Um, all you gotta do is ask. All you gotta do is let help me help you kind of thing. It was pretty funny the way I saw it. And beautiful angel with red curly hair and these beautiful wings. Um, anyway, he that resonated with him. He's like, "Yeah, I forget to ask," and we do forget to ask, so we do have to ask. They're not allowed to interfere with our free will, and what I understand, only unless our life is in danger and it's not our time.
Yeah.
So they will do that. But connection through all kinds of ways to connect uh, through meditation, like you were saying, Michelle. And also, you can ask them to leave you signs.
Mhm.
When I wanted to connect with my angel a few years back, I asked her at the time to leave me I was working with Azriel,
Ooh,
and I
yeah.
ended up getting her voice on recorder. And I asked her to leave me a white feather. I went and walked my dog,
Ooh,
went down by the stream, and there's a freaking huge white feather. Yeah,
I love that.
I know, right? But I was working with the angel with Brand's book called 72 Angels of Alchemy, I think is what it's called, or 72 Angels.
Oh,
Really good stuff.
yeah.
Damon Brand has some really good stuff, and I was used it a lot a few years back. Um, I think we talked about it here, did we?
Yeah, I was
Or
gonna say, I heard about it from you, yeah.
okay, yeah, the 72 Angels of Alchemy, I believe it's called, and and I was working with Azrael, and she helped me a lot with manifestation and bringing things into my life. So putting that intention out there, trust what you're getting because they might because since angels are um, light, you know, the messages you get normally come in subtle ways. So trust that and trust, the subtle messages, trust the subtle chills, like,
Yeah,
when something's resonating, that the chills as you're talking to them or asking them to come in and make themselves known to you, that kind of thing. Um, ask them to, you know, um, let you know who they are, whatever you want to ask. Yeah, and journaling is really, really helpful. Oh,
yeah.
and a plug for my class starting Saturday, automatic writing. I'm doing a course, another one. I mean, I do this every week.
Nice.
Automatic writing and channeling course starting Saturday.
Yep,
2-day
that's
course.
that's nice.
If
We're gonna
anyone's
be playing excuse me,
mhm.
my
I'm
lord and
gonna
master has shown up,
Lord Lord Groucho,
Lord Michael.
Lord
And
Michael.
actually, his name is Michael because he has a big white angel on his chest, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
was little, he was
Michelle
so
and Michael. I just got that.
sitting in a tree, loving on the angels, you and me.
Right?
He's like, leave me alone and give me food. Anne has an interesting question here. I'm going to put her up on the board.
Yeah, there you go.
Anne is saying, have you ever heard of Archangel Lazarus?
Angel
Angel of
healing.
Healing. I got his name and only found one site. No, I have not heard of Archangel Lazarus.
Let
I
me see.
know that Lazarus was the cousin of Jesus, uncle of Jesus that he married, that he raised from the dead.
But oh, he was related to him?
Yeah, there was some relation. I think maybe he was an uncle or a cousin. There was some kind of association.
Oh,
I have not. What my understanding, and this is, I think Doreen Virtue, but most angels and their names end in IAL, IEL, EL, because
L.
that
Yeah.
word depicts angel. It actually depicts of God. So I've not heard of an archangel Lazarus.
So it's my understanding if they don't have the L at the end of their name with the archangels, or an angel perhaps, is that they actually took on a body at some time, like Metatron
And
and Sandalphon.
Sandalphon.
Yeah, that's my understanding. I don't know. In physical form, that they actually, because angels are more amorphous, Um, so
Interesting. I'd never heard that before. But you know what's weird? I'm having like total deja vu right now of you saying that and us being here.
that would be tomorrow. Okay.
Do 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 do. So yeah, Archangel Lazarus, and I'm Lazarus. I'm trying to kind of tap into that energy, and I'm not really finding, but it doesn't mean it's not.
Mhm.
How did he come to you? How did he present himself to you? How do you feel when he's around? Do you feel that you are uplifted and carried, and this is a being of love and light? It's
Well,
yeah,
there's tons of angels we haven't
yeah,
heard of.
yeah.
Going through Doreen's, deck, I never heard of Zadkiel.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Zadkiel's amazing. I've worked with Zadkiel.
I hadn't heard of, a lot of these that come through here. And
Jophiel, Jeremiel, Raziel,
Raziel,
Ariel, who
Haniel,
else? Haniel. Oh yeah, I love Haniel. I actually have a guy,
Raguel,
a client coming that he loves to work with Haniel. We do Haniel work. Shamuel. You guys have all heard of Shamuel, right?
Shemuel, yeah.
Raguel, Ariel.
Let me get that book and see if Lazarus is in that, Damon Brand's book. Um, Azrael, here's Sandalphon, yeah.
Yep, she's got Metatron Sandalphon in there. Yeah, Raziel is kind of fun too. Raziel is kind of like Uriel in that they both are kind of into like alchemy and transmutation and that kind of stuff. It's really cool.
Jeremiel,
Jeremiel.
I heard of that one.
Yeah,
Azrael,
Jeremiel. And I think that is these are the ones that I think there's 12 angels that Doreen Virtue, made mainstream. So these are all the
okay,
ones.
right. Hold the fort down while I go get that book real quick. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
run
look
go
for
get it.
Lazarus in that book. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Anna's saying I was doing a Rahani celestial healing. I've never heard of Rahani celestial healing either. Rahani celestial healing course. You know what? People are really opening up to new things and new ideas, and my only thing is it's really important right now when we have the dark side doing their job that they think is their job, that we always check with any being we start working with by doing that magical ask, are you of true love and light? 3 times. And they can't answer yes if they're not. I teach my students one of the first things I do, anybody working in the invisible realms, no matter where it is you ask them, are you of true love and light? And I even do it true love and true light because there is a false light, there is a false distorted template that we've been wrapped in for a very long time, and they call it the matrix. And there are beings that come from that. So, and when you think about this being or you connect with this being, ask them, are you of true love and true light? And then ask them again, are you of true love and true light? And if you're not getting a solid yes, or you're getting silence, you ask the 4th time, and you always ask, I mean 3 times, you always ask 3 times. And on that third one, they cannot answer yes if they are not of true love and true light. So that's a really good fail safe way that you can use. And that's for everybody to use for everything. Yeah, Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. That's right, Miss Jules.
Mhm.
Have you heard of Rahani celestial healing?
I have not, that
No,
I
man,
remember.
Walker, you're bringing us new stuff here, girl.
So it's actually
Rahani.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The
uh,
72 Angels of Magic, which is a really good book.
Mm.
And he just did the 72 Angels of Alchemy, I think. But this book is very worn. Um,
Rahani, what do you call it? Rahani celestial. I'm looking it up, Ann.
oh, it's a healing course. I have not
Yeah,
heard of
that's
that.
what it sounds like. Embracing the light, Carol Ann Stacy. I wonder, do you, Anne, what does the word Rouhani mean? And where did this come from? Is it something she channeled through? Carol Stacy, I've never heard of her. We're always wanting to learn more. She's saying it's a fifth dimensional healing modality. Interesting.
So these are angels in this book that I have never heard of. Um, I mean, more Hebrewish. An-U-El, Muma-Aya, um, Haya-El, lots of, mostly Mina Kel. I've not heard of most of these.
Wow.
Umabel, Metzerel. Trying to find Lazarus. Yael, Nememia,
Yeah,
Poael.
spirit song. Yeah, definitely using divine. Rahani, meaning of the heart. Aha. I wonder what is, do you know what language or what lineage that comes from? I always love learning new things, you know. It's funny when I put in Google, what does Rahani mean? It keeps going back to Ariana.
Ariana.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Oh,
singer.
it misspells it. Oh, it spells it for you again. Corrects you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Of one
see.
heart. Thank you. Of one heart. Interesting.
Hmm.
I wonder, Anne, is this something that she channeled in? Or is it something she received from someone else? I would love to know the origins of it. Because the word Rahani sounds almost like it would be like from the Eastern cultures, you know, like from India or very cool.
I think I believe that there's also been a dumbing down of the angels that we can work with, if that makes sense.
I
You
think
know,
that's part of the limit. With Doreen Virtue bringing what she brought to the planet, there also was a like a and I don't think it was intentional by her, but like a limitation, like these are
yeah,
the angels kind of a thing.
right,
So yeah,
yeah, yeah. Because as I'm looking through this book and seeing all these angels that we can work with, I mean, I think that I feel totally that I mean, it's immense what the energies we can work with, and these are just symbols for these beings. Um, it's so
yeah.
immense. I imagine that Michael and Gabriel and Raphael are like, "Oh, don't they know there's more? There's more that they
Making
can
us
work with
work
than
so
just
hard. Wish they stop calling on me.
when are they going to learn that there's more than just us?" Okay.
Well, and you know what I've shifted into too is stepping out of communicating or working with just an individual angel and to actually being expanding and working with the consciousness of angels, right? So instead of seeing them, first of all, something outside of me, second of all, as individuals, I actually call it upon the entire consciousness and allow those messages to come through because I'm lazy and I don't want to learn all the angels.
But yeah, I get you. But what I like about this book is that each angel in here has a certain power, right? A certain thing that, like, and you even said that earlier that they specialize in,
Right.
um, like the powers of Lala Hel, Hel, Lala Heal, um, to inspire love in another. Uh, it's inspiration for talents, for creativity, artists, things like that. Um, this angel Akaiya, to make your work or business popular. Oh, maybe we should work with him for our podcast for
There
him
you
or
go.
her, right? The powers Ella Dia to heal disease,
Yeah, and I get
overcome
that.
negativity, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But what I do is I call on the entire consciousness with the understanding that the proper message will come through, right? Instead of trying to figure
right,
out which angel to work with and who do I call and do I call this guy? Do I call this guy? And it really is, it stems from too much info, and we have an entire consciousness with that we can work with, and trusting, in faith that that consciousness, has all the information. So what I need or what my client needs or what's needed in the moment will be able to come through. So that's kind of
right,
how I go at it. That doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's what works
right.
for me, is what I teach my students and stuff. But some people like that. You're a Virgo. You're one of those pesky Virgos.
I know I am, and I like focused attention.
Uh-huh.
I like laser focus. This is what I want. I'm gonna
Yeah.
find the person that's gonna help person, angel, guide, or whatever, teacher to help me get it. And so to me, that helps me. It helps me with my focus.
Yeah.
And
And see, isn't that cool how
yeah,
there's different ways to do it?
right.
That's why
There's no right or
Sharon and
wrong.
yeah, that's why we like to do this show, because we have different ways of doing things and different ways we do it and different thoughts and different beliefs. And it's just so cool because we can present all of it to you guys,
Yeah.
and you guys can find what works and play with it. I love it.
Oh, Barbie, can you highlight Barbie's comment,
Yeah, here, I'll highlight this
Michelle?
one. She's saying, with the Milky Way, Andromeda, Sirius, and the Pleiades vibrates on the pink ray of the heart center. Nice.
So it's an healing energy, Rohani. Is it healing
Yeah.
energy?
And it
Okay.
looks like it's something that is that people learn, and it's happening in the UK. Yeah, I was just going to say the way they spelled center. I'm like, this sounds like the UK and Europe.
R-E.
Yeah, CENTRE. It's so funny. My grandma, she wasn't from England, but her mother was. And it was so weird when I started learning how to write. For some reason, I spelled everything the way they do in over there. And like I still even now spell honor HONOUR and
Oh, you are,
center
yeah.
CENTRE. It's so weird. I don't know if
I do
it's,
that automatically myself. Just as I'm typing, it does that automatically.
yeah,
It
it's maybe
it is
that's the
weird.
right way.
Mhm. Yeah, I think our language has been dumbed down
Yeah, totally.
in our country. So
Very
do we
cool,
want
Barbie. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah, do we wanna pull cards for people? Anyone want an angel card pulled for
Yep,
them?
let's do a little bit. I've got a class starting at 6, so let's do 15 minutes.
Okay.
Oh,
How
guys.
dare you schedule classes on the day of our
If anybody wants more reading, I have my reading salon at 6 o'clock, and you can go find it, sign up, and
oh, there
come
you
get a
go.
reading.
Okay, there you go.
I only have so many evenings to do it, and this is one of them.
Susan Walters,
She was an
that name
artist in
sounds familiar.
Rochester.
Minnesota.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
She sounds familiar.
I know. Doesn't that sound familiar?
She was an
In
artist in Rochester,
Minnesota.
so she drew recording angels for children that were coming to terms with. Okay, of course, Eileen, we will. So, okay, so Ann Walker, Ann first. I believe that she came first in
Yeah.
our feed. Okay, can you highlight Amber's
Sorry,
comment? Oh, that's all right. So,
I forgot I have a job to do.
I'm gonna that's right. Give your angels a job. We're giving you a job, Miss Angel
Thank
Michelle.
you.
Angels need a job. That's their job to work for us,
And you
kind
have
of
to
thing.
ask for what you want, so don't
Yeah,
assume.
not just loving us. That's part of their job too, but also help us to help us.
Help us.
All right. So I'll I'll pull a card for Anne, and then you wanna
Oh,
pull for Eileen?
yeah.
Oh,
Do you want Amber up there or
oh, I'm
who?
sorry. Go ahead.
Say who are we doing? Okay, so that came up twice. So okay, good, wonderful. So go ahead, pull a card for Anne.
Okay. This is from the Archangel Oracle cards. Archangels. So I'm pulling a card from the
Archangels,
Archangel. And
archangels.
these are, speaking of Doreen, these are from Doreen.
You know what? You can't have an angel reading without a little Doreen involved. I'm sorry.
True.
I
True.
know there's a lot of people that's mad at her, but
I think she did a good service when she was doing it. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, she was my guru for quite a while. You're too. You too.
yep,
Yeah. All
yep,
right.
I
For
got the angel practitioner degree.
all right. This is from Azrael, Archangel Azrael, and the card is comfort.
Mm,
Yeah. And what it says is, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. And let me see what um, the handy dandy book says about that. Comfort. Hmm. Additional message. Even the strongest person experiences upsetting situations, and there's no shame in taking time to heal your heart. And this is a good time for your quiet reflection upon your true feelings. Write them down in a private journal and then call upon me, Archangel Azrael, to bring comfort to your heart and mind. I can help you sleep better at night and put your mind at ease. In working with Archangel Azrael, Azrael's aura is a beautiful shade of vanilla cream, a very pale
mm,
yellow tone. He surrounds grieving and dying persons with this loving light to bring them comfort. When Azrael is around, you may see eggshell colored twinkling lights in the room. The crystal creamy yellow calcite is calibrated to Azrael's energy, so holding or wearing this crystal may lend additional comfort. That's crystal creamy yellow calcite, if that resonates with you. Comfort, helping to heal. Beautiful.
nice.
Depiction too. When I was working with Azrael, I felt female, but that was with me.
Yeah, yeah. I feel Osriel very feminine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you were right when you said at the beginning that they kind of come in the energy because they don't have gender, so they
Right.
kind of come in the energy of. So I know that Barbie wanted to get a little reading, so I'm going to pull a card for Barbie.
I think Eileen was next.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Barbie.
Oh, there we go. Eileen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eileen, I will pull one for you, darling. And I'm using the Archangel Power Tarot cards by our beloved Doreen Virtue. And yeah, Jules, you're right. People did get confused with her
Hmm.
180 that she did, and she kind of went hard, where she denounced everything, called it of the devil and everything. But you know, I just felt like she really needed that. That was part of her path, was that shift, and that what it did is those of us who studied with her and who had true faith not in her but in the angels, that it created a wide open space for those of us who truly believed in the angels and what we were doing of our own, not dependent on her, because I think
Hmm.
that's what happened, is the people that were dependent on her and were leaning on her fell away, and those people were truly working with the angels of their own accord without being dependent on another, gave a space for us to all step up into it. And that's
Yeah.
kind of how I looked at it.
Like a gateway.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Eileen, you have Archangel Ariel, and this card is a number 11. All right, so it's a master number. Ooh, I got the Oh, that's weird. I got it blurred in back. So it's Archangel Ariel strength. It says strength and grace through kindness, self-confidence, and forgiveness. So Eileen, what I'm getting is this is not a card of direction, but it's a card of acknowledgement of your strength, of your kindness, of your, and I'm getting the word goodness too. It's like you are a very powerful person. I want to see that throughout your lifetime there has been times when people thought that maybe you were too much, too strong, too much, and you started to kind of dim your light. I don't feel like you're doing it as much now, that you're like finding yourself, finding your center, being there. And this is really an acknowledgement of your strength and of who you are and that you found it. So I'm going to make sure this card comes through. It's got the lion on there. It's got an angel sitting with the lion. That lion represents your true soul, your true energy, the truth of who you are. I'm going to take this blur off my thingy here.
Yeah, it was a little blurry.
Yeah, no blur. Remove the blur.
Have enough of that without the.
I know. I can't
uh,
see. There we go. Boop. All right. Close. So yeah, definitely this is an acknowledgement of who you are. I'm also getting keep going with what you're doing, with what you're working on, with the love that you hold for yourself and others. It's you're doing your angelic work, and don't be shy, and don't not be who you are, because other people thought you were too much or too much is really what the word, not meaning that you really were, but other people did that, and sometimes people do that to kind of take the sparkle off your shine because they don't have it. And it's this is important for you to get this message. And I love it. Again, it's got that lion. That lion represents like the angelic realms, the fiery, sometimes ferocious angelic
Strength.
realms. Angels are love and light and freaking lion teeth. Think of Archangel Michael. He kills things. He slays dragons and demons. And so it's like you got to have a little to get things done sometimes, and so you're being acknowledged. So I'm going to leave you with that, Eileen. Good job too, by the way. Good job in getting that really strong for you.
Hmm. Okay.
All right. So oops, oh my god, I can't see this stupid thing.
Who's next?
Well, I know that Barbie wanted one. I think it was kind of way back there.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, so let's give Barbie one.
sure.
Yeah, you're welcome, Eileen.
Okay. This is for Barbie. Okay.
We have 11 people watching too, by the way.
Nice, nice. Thank you, 11
Our
people.
master people, master people.
Master. Yes.
Masters watching masters at work.
Hmm.
Oh,
Let's see what Archangel wants to show up for Barbie tonight. Oh, okay. Archangel Metatron. Prioritize. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. Metatron. Metatron's pretty powerful angel to work with. So if you're ever feeling scattered, disorganized, who feels that?
never.
Yes. Okay, so your message from Metatron, additional messages, what's your calling? What makes your heart sing? When you focus on these areas, your joyful energy increases, which benefits everyone. Take charge of your schedule and spend more time on projects and activities close to your heart. Make choices that honor your priorities and support your life's mission. Archangel Metatron is one of two angels who once walked upon earth as human men. Okay, the other one is Sandalphon, and perhaps Lazarus. I'm just adding
Yeah.
that because maybe Doreen didn't know about Lazarus at the time. Metatron was the prophet and scribe Enoch, who ascended after his exemplary earth life. He continues working as a scribe and record keeper in heaven. He helps people develop organizational and record keeping skills as well. When you call upon Metatron, he motivates you to organize your priorities. So, hopefully, this resonates about getting feeling in the helping to be in the flow of things, organizing our mind. And I found when my mind is organized, the rest of my life is organized.
Yeah.
And meditation helps me tremendously with that. So
Yeah.
that might be helpful for you. I hope it is prioritizing because we get overwhelmed, and you may feel overwhelmed with a lot that is coming at you all the time. So what I do is I just write down my list of things that I need to do for the day. Every morning I write down, okay, I'm going to do this today. This is my list here. And what I don't do, I I send over to the next day, my next list, and that way I can't forget about it. And it helps me get organized in my mind.
Barbie's saying Enoch is one of her guides.
There you go. And
Yeah.
I've been trying to get motivated. This resonates a lot. Of course. You're welcome.
Yeah, very cool. So I
You
think
know,
that helps
organization
to recall.
also, I'm sorry. I was just going to say just one little thing at the end. Organization also helps us get motivated.
Yeah. The energy feels good. It goes back to the whole feng shui thing too.
Yeah,
When energy is flowing, it's
right.
easier to feel up and motivated. And it's so wonderful to have, maybe a room that has been kind of cluttered and icky, and to open it up and organize and throw stuff out. Oh, you walk in, it's like, oh yeah. And spring is coming. Time for
Well,
some
in your
spring.
town,
Yeah, not
I
in
didn't hear
Oregon.
you. Right. But we do have the spring equinox coming up, so we can always celebrate it, and hopefully the weather will follow.
Yeah. Start
Mhm.
cleaning out the clutter, and spring will come.
I know, right? Yeah. We kind of tend to put human condition is to put the cart before the horse, isn't it? Thinking if things change out here, then we can change in here when it's the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah.
We can change what we got going on. If this changes, if that changes, if they just change, then I'll be better or things will be better if that just changes. Don't work that way.
No, ma'am. All right, beloveds, we're so grateful
Yes,
that you're
before you
here,
go.
and thank you. This was good. This felt really good. Talking about angels, I got excited. It was like, yay, I love the angels. And honestly, I've been doing work that's a little that doesn't really involve angels, or I didn't involve the angels. And so, Sharon, I'm glad that you brought this up, as a topic for our show, because it's got me excited again. And then I was also being told that March is angels for all of my teachings. I have a Tuesday live Facebook show, and my meditation on Wednesday evenings. We're talking angels, and I'm doing the big class on the 18th on the 12th dimensional angels, which where
Mhm.
we're working with the Elohai and the Seraphai. And so it's exciting. I'm excited to get back into connecting up with my angelic family again. So I'm glad that you brought this up.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Well, thank you for being here, Michelle, and co-shenanigating with me.
Co shenanigation. We need a song.
We
We
do.
need to get the Shenanigator band back together and write a
Yeah,
song.
we do. I know, then we need to do our world tour again.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm missing the road. Kinda
it's
missing the
the
road.
world twirl.
World twirl from the or did I just snort? Yeah, from one room to the other. Okay. Alright, so let's unfold our wings and dust them off.
Get them flapping, flap, flap, flap,
Get them
flap, flap,
flapping,
flap,
work on
flap,
those
flap.
shoulder blades back here, and then do your spin
Whoosh.
like a whirling dervish. Do your spin.
It's the world twirl,
It's the world tour.
the angelic world twirl. Say that 5 times fast.
All right, fellow angels.
We love you
Love
guys.
you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Mwah. Fare thee well. Be
Mwah.
good
Or good
and,
at it.
and stay sparkling. And